Next topic is testing of transformers. Transformers are very important and costly apparatus in power systems. So, great care has to be exercised to see that the transformers are not damaged due to transient over voltages of either lightning or switching. Hence, over voltage tests become very important in testing the transformers. First one is induced over voltage test. Transformers are tested for over voltages by exciting the secondary of the transformer from a high frequency, that is HFAC, high frequency AC source, that is 100 to 400 hertz, to about twice the rated voltage. Then this reduces the core saturation and also limits the charging current necessary in large power transformers. Then the insulation withstand strength can also be checked with the help of induced over voltage test. Next one is partial discharge test. Partial discharge test tests on the windings are done in order to assess the discharge magnitudes and radio interference level. In this test, a transformer is connected as a test piece and discharge measurements are made. Then here the location of the fault or void is sometimes done by using the traveling wave technique similar to that of cables, and measurements are to be made at all terminals of the transformer, and the insulation should also be designed that the discharge measurements should be much below the value of 10 to the power of picocoulomb are considered to be severe, so it should be less than the 10 to the power of 4 picocoulomb, and the transformer insulation should be such that the discharge magnitude will be far below this value. Next one is a impulse test. The main purpose of the impulse test is to determine the ability of the insulation of the transformers to withstand the transient voltages due to lightning, etc. Since the transients are impulse of short rise time, the voltage distribution along the transformer winding will not be uniform. Then this application of impulse voltage of a transformer, the equivalent circuit is shown here. In this case, impulse voltage is applied to such a network that the voltage distribution should be, the voltage distribution is uneven voltage distribution and oscillatory voltage would be produced. Then this voltage produced much higher than the applied voltage. Here the voltage would be, the oscillatory voltage is higher than the applied voltage. And here in impulse testing, the transformer is done using both the full wave and the chopped wave of standard impulse produced by a rod gap with a chopping time of 3 to 60 microseconds. Okay, in order to prevent large over voltages being induced in the windings not under test, they are short circuited and connected to the ground. Then the short circuiting reduces the impedance of the transformer, hence create problems in adjusting the standard wave shape of impulse generators. Then procedure of conducting impulse testing. Here the transformer primary and secondary, which is connected to that CRO. Okay. The schematic diagram of the transformer connection is shown in this figure. In this case, the transformer testing, it is essential to record the waveforms of applied voltage and current through the winding under test. Sometimes the transferred voltage in the secondary and neutral current is also recorded. Then the procedure for conducting the impulse testing is we have to conduct in the following sequences. That is, first we have to apply the impulse voltage of magnitude 75 percentage of basic impulse level of the transformer under test. Then second step, we have to apply one full wave of 100 percentage BIL. Then next, two chopped wave of 100 percentage or 115 percentage of BIL. Then one full wave of 100 percentage BIL, and finally one full wave with 70 percentage of BIL. And this during the impulse testing, the fault can be located by general observation like noise in the tank, or smoke or bubbles may occur in the breather. If there is a fault, it appears on the oscilloscope as a partial or complete collapse of the applied voltage. And the waveform of neutral current also indicated in that CRO based on the type of fault. If an arc occurs between the turns or from turn to the ground, a train of high frequency pulses are seen on the oscilloscope and waveform of the impulse changes. If it is only a partial discharge and high frequency oscillation should be observed, but there is no change in wave shape occurs, then the impulse strength of the transformer winding is same for either polarity of wave, whereas the flashover over voltage for bushing is different from different polarity. Here transformer, the impulse strength for both the polarity are same. The next topic is insulation coordination. That is, insulation coordination is the correlation of insulation of various electrical equipments and circuits with the characteristics of protective device such that the insulation is protected from excessive over voltages. That is, correlation of insulation of electrical equipment and the protective device is called as insulation coordination. That is the process of bringing the insulation strengths of electrical equipments and buses into the proper relationship with expected over voltages and with the characteristics of the insulating medium and surge protective devices to obtain an acceptable risk of failure. That is, you are correlating the insulation of electrical apparatus as well as the protective devices. That is, what is that main thing for insulation coordination? What is the main requirements of insulation coordination? Means we have to select a suitable insulation level, and to ensure that the breakdown voltage of all the insulation in a particular station will not exceed the basic insulation level, and finally to choose proper protective devices providing good protection at low cost, at a low cost. And what is the necessity of insulation coordination? Means to ensure the reliability and continuity of service, to minimize the number of failures due to over voltages, uh, then finally to minimize the cost of design, installation and operations. What are the steps involved in insulation coordination? Means you have to select a suitable insulation which is a function of reference class voltage, that is 1.05 into the operating voltage of the system. We have to fix it. Then the design of various equipment such as the breakdown or flashover strength of all insulation in the stations equal or exceed the selected level. Then selection of protective devices which will give the apparatus as good protection that can be justified economically. And here it is shown here, this is the nominal system voltage of a plant, and this is the, after that, this is voltage increasing order left to right. Here this is 0 and voltage is increasing. Here you see this is the nominal system voltage, then maximum operating voltage, then maximum sound phase voltage, then the protection level is somewhat higher than the maximum sound voltage level. Then finally the insulation withstand level is higher than the protection level of voltage setting. And here the voltage time characteristic, that is a voltage time characteristic of various equipments in a substation is given here. First one is the lightning arrestor, then here is a transformer, then line, then finally bus bar insulation. Then here both lightning and switching over voltages occurring in a systems occurring in a power systems are statistical in nature. Okay, not all these surges are dangerous to the insulation. Hey, so it is very important to design the insulation of various equipments to be protected, and the device used for protection not for worst possible condition but for worst probable conditions. Okay. That is the main thing of installation coordination, is the correlation of that various electrical equipments and protective devices. We have to correlate all the things. Okay, thank you.